Hey, what's up guys? Coach Myers. Welcome to my kitchen, and you're back for another edition of Max Effort Muscle Meals. Now let's talk about family tradition today. You know, my mom's Italian, my grandma Jane, probably the greatest cook to ever walk the face of the earth. You know, they cooked a lot of pasta. You know, so we always had a lot of pasta growing up, spaghetti, meatballs, fettuccine alfredo, stuff like that. That's actually originally where my dad learned to cook, was from my mom's mom. So there's a big pasta tradition in my family, but as I've gotten older, I cannot eat pasta like I used to if I want to have abs. You know, so now I've kind of fallen in love with a pasta substitute called Zoodles. And Zoodles are essentially, check them out, zucchini noodles, all right? So today I'm gonna teach you a recipe I just came up with using the Zoodles. We got zucchini noodles, and we're gonna do like a healthy, low-carb version of the traditional carbonara. Now, carbonara is normally, you know, an egg noodle, like a fettuccine, or just a regular spaghetti noodle. You got bacon, you got some vegetables, and then when it's almost done, you crack an egg on it and kind of whip the egg up in there, and the egg kind of coats it and cooks a little bit, and you add a little bit of cheese. What we're gonna do is take the Zoodles, we're gonna fry up some, I got a bell pepper diced up right here, one whole bell pepper, one whole onion. We're gonna throw some garlic salt on it, fry that up in olive oil, add the Zoodles, and I'm gonna show you guys how to make them here in a second. It's real simple. And then when it's almost done, we're gonna add, instead of bacon, we're gonna go with some uncured salami. Then we'll add the egg, top it off with a little bit of goat cheese. Mwah, mamma mia, let's go. So first things first, you gotta get a nice big deep skillet, get it heated up. Don't be shy with the olive oil. Throw that in there. I'm gonna heat this up on medium. And while I'm preparing the rest of the Zoodles, I'm gonna put the bell pepper and the onion in there and let it start to soften up. Now the Zoodles are gonna cook really fast. You know, they're done in maybe, you know, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Those veggies, they're gonna take probably 15 minutes or so to soften up. So you get those in there first. When they're almost done, when those onions are starting to look kind of translucent, then you know it's time to add the Zoodles and move on to the next step. So when making the Zoodles, you wanna cut off the ends, right like that. Now full disclosure, you gotta get one of these gadgets right here. It's made by OXO brand. I wish you could buy it at oldschoolgym.com or maxeffortmuscle.com, but you can't. You just gotta go to Kroger's or your local grocery store and pick one of these up. I mean, they're like less than 10 bucks. But you see the inside of it here, you basically just put the zucchini on there, twist it, and these little things kind of slice it into noodles, and the noodles come out here in the bottom. So it's pretty simple right here. Now as an added bonus, you kind of get a forearm pump out of this one. Now you can see it starts to fill up down there. We got our Zoodles, pull them out, and keep going. Now for this recipe, I'll normally use, you know, either two medium-sized zucchinis, or I had one big one, and then this one is a small one. So we're just gonna kind of mix and match, but this should be enough to serve, you know, 3 or 4 people. Now you can use any type of ham here. Like I said, a traditional carbonara recipe is going to have bacon, you know, a little piece of bacon. You could go with, you know, even pepperoni, any type of ham, you know, but I decided to go with the uncured salami today. I think it's gonna give it, you know, real good, nice salty flavor. Chop them up into little pieces. Ooh, almost took off one of my fingers there. So you can tell these eggs are pasture raised and organic. The shells don't want to break. They're not brittle like your normal, you know, kind of conventionally raised eggs. A little bit of shell in there. Now, if you're doing a big batch, you're gonna wanna use 2 eggs. I think for something like this though, 1 egg's gonna be enough because you don't want big chunks of egg stuck to the zoodles. It's more just to kind of coat it. And once you pour it in there, we're just gonna, kind of toss the noodles up, and hopefully it'll just kind of coat the, coat all the vegetables, and then like I said, we'll top that with a little bit of cheese. So you gotta make sure whenever you're stirring the vegetables, you don't want to just move them around the frying pan, because then, the tops aren't getting cooked. You gotta actually kind of pick everything up, mix it a little bit. So now we know that all the sides of the veggies are getting cooked. They're cooking evenly. We'll cover them up, let them go for a few more minutes. Season up the veggies, a little bit of cracked pepper, a little bit of garlic salt, and we're gonna go with a little bit of basil, not too much. All right, they're getting close. So now the veggies are kind of pre-cooked. I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil there. I'm gonna move these over to the side a little bit. And now we're gonna add our pasta, or I should say our zasta. Zasta? That doesn't sound as good as zoodles, does it? Again, a little more olive oil, a little more garlic salt. Cover it up. We'll stir it about every minute, for about, maybe 5 minutes, so they look like they're starting to get cooked. Somewhere along the line, we're gonna add that salami, and then right at the very end, add that egg in there, whip it up. Bon appetit. All right, don't tell my grandma Jane that I told you, or my dad for that matter, but you wanna learn the real secret to old school Italian cooking? This is it right here, butter. They put a knob of butter in everything, especially anything pasta related. So now our zoodles are getting a little closer to being done. Boom, before we put the salami in there, we're gonna throw that butter in, let it kind of get coated. Shh, don't tell anyone I told you. Now the zoodles are almost done. So I like to kind of move them over to the side a little bit. I'm gonna add the salami, that way we can kind of like stir fry it a little, let it get warm, and then stir everything together before we add the egg. I can smell the butter and the salt and the pork. Boom, this is gonna be killer. All right, now if you look, everything's kind of stirred in together. The noodles are, kind of nice and limp. They're still got, some texture to them. They're not completely mush, but it's time. So we got 1 egg, and I'm gonna try to slowly coat. And the key is, now I gotta stir it up fast before it just cooks in one spot. There we go, yeah, you can see the egg, like just little kind of slivers of the egg, kind of coating the noodles, AKA the zoodles, rather than forming just like a big chunk of egg in there. And at this point, you can turn it off. I mean, your skillet's gonna be hot enough to kind of let that egg cook. Boom. There we go, a little healthy, low carb. We'll call it my new school carbonara. Taught you some of my secrets of making Italian pasta, only zasta or zoodles, whatever you want to call it. You can make something, low carb and kind of new school like this. As long as you still eat your pasta with a spoon and a fork, then you're still old school.